song.
That'd be amazing.
I think that'd be awesome. Are you a songwriter?
I am, sort of.
Really? Do you have any works of art you have created and want to share with the world?
Not
The one you shot a year ago. What?
Not at the moment.
Okay. I don't know if you could if you were super creative and could just come up with something on the spot.
I'm not really a freestyle.
Works of art. We're up and going. Sorry. Not freestyle, you said?
No, not a freestyle songwriter, not as much.
That's okay. I'm impressed you can even play an instrument or sing. That's pretty impressive.
Thank you.
I can read the words of songs.
Yes.
I learned that much. It works well. Is it weird being a senior and not being in your final days of class though?
Kinda. I'm used to it now, I guess.
Yeah. What are you doing to fill all your free time?
Mostly working for my dad at his landscape company, so I'm just working every day. So I'm still, I might even be more busy than I was when I was at school, which is ironic, but
Yeah. Huh. I hear that from a couple people that they feel more busy now than they were before quarantine.
yeah. At least my busy is now making me money, so that's nice. So.
That's true. That is super convenient.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah. I'm glad that works out. Nice. And it's a great time, to grow facial hair or try new things.
Yes.
No
one can see, so you can't go wrong. So
exactly. This is the time to experiment.
Yes, that is true.
I like it. Well, everyone that's joining us, welcome tonight. As you can see, we are live streaming through Zoom, and so I don't have to talk to myself. I can talk to humans. I'm so pumped. You guys are there with us, and we read your comments, but it's so much nicer to have faces to talk to. So you guys can see we have Neil. He's over here for me. I don't know where he is. Maybe he's down here over here for you guys. So we're just there's Neil. And then Will is there for me. Did you guys ever see the Brady Bunch? Where they have all their faces and all looking at each other. That's how I feel on every Zoom call. Mm-hmm. But then I realized that everyone has a different screen, and so what you guys see is different than what I see. But okay. Anyways, Brady Bunch rant over. Yeah, so Will is going to join us tonight for a little bit. He's going to lead us in some worship later. And yeah, Neil has a beautiful Christmas tree in the background.
That's right.
So, I love it.
See, it lights up.
Wow. Adding the lights, turning them on, just adds a little ambiance. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. William, would you like to hear some jokes?
I would. That'd be great.
These are my 100 amazingly, I think it reads backwards in there, corny jokes. It's backwards, isn't it?
No, it's normal.
That's right. It's probably backwards for you, but for everybody else, it's the right way. So
awesome. Yep. I'm really happy it's right for all of you. Yeah. So 100 amazingly corny jokes. And I tried to make sure we don't have any repeats, so I'm sorry if we do in advance. But here we go. Mm-hmm. They're pretty rough.
Here we go.
Okay. What do corn cobs call their father? No guesses? Wow. Popcorn. Get it? And he even blows up. So good. Classic. Okay. Don't worry, guys. They get better as we go.
Oof.
Why did the girl bring a ladder to school? She wanted to go to high school. Get it? To go higher?
Oh, man.
Climbing that ladder. More than one meaning. Ayo.
That's painful.
It's really bad. Don't worry. This one might be the worst. Why did the picture go to jail?
Wait.
It was framed.
It was framed.
Yes. Good job, guys. It was framed. Yes. See, here's the thing. You guys are going to know these jokes. And so in a few years, you're going to go interact with strangers and you're going to have all these epic jokes to tell and it's going to pay off. So you're welcome in advance to all of you out there. Miss you all. Okay. Oh, don't worry, guys. This is solid. Why did the school kids eat their homework? Because their teacher said it was a piece of cake.
Oh, goodness. Those poor students.
Have you guys ever eaten paper before?
Yes.
Yes, I have.
Why? First question.
To be fair, it was like a Tootsie Roll wrapper, so it kind of tasted like a Tootsie Roll in a little bit. So it wasn't like a thick regular piece of paper. It was like really thin and kind of flimsy. So it's probably the cheap version of eating paper. But what about you, Will?
Sounds pretty waxy. Did it have like a waxiness to it?
Waxy? Clever.
Oh, it's like wax paper. Like, wait, what's the joke here? I'm kind of confused.
I don't think. Did you realize you just told a pun?
No, that like wax, like the wrapper is wax paper. It's.
No.
Oh, you mean like wacky? Oh, there we go. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I'm awake. I'm here.
Yep.
It's good to have you, Will.
Thank
Yes,
you.
it is.
But you were saying that you've eaten paper?
Oh yes. Let's see. Yeah, there's been multiple occasions. You know, like what are the Starbursts? Yes. So like the Starburst, you know, it takes so long to unwrap. So sometimes, honestly, you're so lazy, you just want the candy, so you just pop the whole thing in your mouth. Done that before. Wouldn't recommend it. It's not great. Paper gets stuck to your throat. I've eaten just regular notebook paper. I went through this phase in middle school where I was just hungry, so I would just like tear off like pieces. Before lunch, because like we had the latest lunch in like 8th grade. It was at like 1:00, so I would just get really hungry. And people always say, "Why are you eating paper?" I'm hungry, so I just tear off pieces.
Just a grown boy needing some calories, and paper was the only solution.
It's not true. I could have brought a granola bar, but you know, that's not what I did.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man.
Where you were at that time. Okay.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'm gonna say hi to some people that are on YouTube with us real quick.
Yeah, please do.
We've got Brad Jones. It is always Christmas at my house. I know you said that probably a couple minutes ago now, but it's definitely always Christmas at my house. Grant, this is our like upstairs like fireplace room. So it's super cozy up here. So we just keep our Christmas tree up here. Like we have a fireplace here. Let's see if I can, like a little electric fireplace. And so we like watch movies up here, play video games up here. And so it's just super cozy. So yes, we do have a Christmas tree up here. Let's see. Got quite a few people on here. 15 on YouTube so far. Nice. Welcome everybody.
We've got about 12 on Facebook, so that's exciting.
Guys, we're nearing 30.
Woo-hoo!
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry if you hear something in the feedback really quickly. I'm going to open this. Okay, good deal. Okay, awesome.
You just saw our Christmas tree in the back. It's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. A few more jokes.
Yes.
Also, I was told that I've used the popcorn one like 3 times now. Sorry. Shout out to those that noticed. You're welcome now because you know it.
It's amazing that somebody remembered that because like I try to block them out.
Thanks, Neil.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
It's okay. Your honesty is what I appreciate. So thank you.
Yes. That's what I strive for.
Okay.
Every day.
Good. I think this one's hilarious. Maybe you won't. That's okay. Why aren't koalas actually bears? Because they don't meet the qualifications. Guys, it's so good. How do you not enjoy this? I think it's hilarious.
Oh.
Okay, last one. Last one. And this one is because it deals with my favorite food. So, well, my favorite food is ribs, but my second favorite is peanut butter. So this one will make sense. Did you hear the joke about the peanut butter? I'm not telling you. You might spread it. These are good.
I thought you were gonna say it was nuts.
Oh, that'd be good too. Maybe you should write the jokes.
Hey.
I will take any jokes that are written by other people. I love terrible jokes. They're the best. Well, thanks guys for hanging in there with the terrible jokes. Hopefully that gave people enough time to jump on. So welcome everyone. As I said earlier, we've got Will, whatever direction he's in. He's going to join us for a bit this afternoon, evening. And then we've got Neil as well. So Mary's not talking to herself like a crazy person in her basement. It's a good time. So thanks for letting us have them today. And we're going to go ahead and jump in and play a game. And this evening, oh, Will, you have no idea. Should we make Will participate?
Yeah. We should.
I think maybe. Okay. Will, can you see the feed? Maybe we'll let him call out answers.
Oh, yeah. Will, are you able to see the comments on on YouTube?
I
can see them.
Pulled up on my phone. I could go get my laptop and pulled up or something.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
We'll pass this week. It's your first time on. You're leading worship. We'll let you by.
We'll make it work.
Yeah,
Okay.
We'll figure it out. Think so.
We might have you do one though. Well, maybe. We'll see.
We can send him a chat message.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is the game this evening, everyone. Tonight we are going to break it up. Instead of our normal one individual winning, it's going to be guys versus girls. So ladies, you're with me. Gentlemen, you're with Neil.
Let's go.
Whichever direction he is. And so tonight we're going to play charades. And we have a list of Bible characters that you will have to be guessing. And so we will start out with, Neil, do you want to start or do you want me to start or should we rock, paper, scissors it out?
I think you should go first.
I should go first?
Ladies
Okay.
First, yeah.
Very kind of you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thanks. Okay, so if I'm going first, I'm going to turn around because I need to have some space. And yes, I have my wheat thins just about every week, guys. Snacks are important, snacks and hydration. So we're going to turn this around. And Neil, do you want to pull up a timer for a minute or how long do you want to give us?
Let's do, I'll put up a timer for a minute.
Okay, awesome. So Neil is going to watch the comments. Do you have both Facebook and the YouTube channel up?
I've got them both up.
That is impressive.
Yeah. We'll see if it works.
Yes. Will, feel free to think in your mind what it is, and maybe when we get it right, you can rejoice and tell us what they guessed was right or something that you can participate. Mm-hmm. Okay, our first one. Let me know when you're ready, and I will begin acting. Is this good spacing?
Yep, you're good. And go.
Okay. Another way to.
Not Samuel. Keep going. You're close. No, Bible characters. Bible characters here. Keep going, Mary. Keep going.
That's out, right? Roar. Trying to go as I can do.
No. Yeah, 10. Well, yeah, you've got 10 seconds. We'll see if the comments come in the chat in time here.
Roar.
We're close. It's not David. It's not baby Jesus.
Rawr.
Daniel. Okay. All right. We got one.
Yes. Good job, ladies.
Right. Just under the wire. Good job. Good job.
Good work, team.
Yeah, this is tricky with the delay. It'll, you guys just have to bear with me. Pretty much if you get it anywhere near a minute, I'm going to give it to you. But good job. Good job. Daniel in the Lions Den.
Good job, guys.
Yep.
Don't worry, all my spare time during quarantine, definitely working on acting lessons as well as drawing lessons from last week.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay.
Okay.
Neil, are you ready?
I'm ready. Yeah, and I guess I can see
You can
who
see.
answers mine, so.
Which one do you want me to watch? The Facebook or the?
It looks like we have more people guessing on YouTube. I'm not seeing too much comments on Facebook, so.
Okay. Sweet. I will be watching on the YouTube then.
Yep. Cool. Sounds good.
Okay,
all right. We ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Go.
Let's see. I think Sadie said it on YouTube.
Yeah, David. Nicely done.
Yeah. It's so awkward because it's completely silent.
I know. You're like,
I don't know what else to do. Oh, man.
Nicely done.
Good job, Sadie. Although we got to do guys. Guys got a guess for Neil. So, well, Cole got it. So, yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just to make sure we remember, everyone guessing for the guy should be, or everyone males.
Yes.
For Neil.
Guys guess for me.
Or Neil. If you're a girl, guess for me only.
Yep.
Yep. And that way we can do guys versus girls. But good job, Sadie. You got it. You're right. Thank you. Yep. Thank you for making our acting time a little bit less. It's always entertaining.
It's all right. Yep. Yeah, that's okay, Sadie. I mean, Cole got it anyway, so it's all good.
It worked out. Okay. Awesome. I'm ready for the next one. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I gotta get something for this one. Okay.
Yes.
Let me know, and I've got a prop for this one. Are you good?
Ready.
Okay.
The delay is great here. It's just long enough where like you're just starting now. Not Jesus. Peter. Sadie got it. Peter. Good job. Nice.
Good work. Good work. Walking on water, guys. Get it? Props are helpful.
Very good.
Alexis, I saw your comment about Daniel and the babies. You're right. You're very right. Babies did not attack Daniel in the lion's den. They were my lions, though. It was good. Okay.
Yep.
Neil, you ready for your next one?
I am ready as I will ever be.
Okay. Go.
Okay. Need staff. Okay.
Ooh. The first thing you did just popped up, so you're doing great. Keep going. Moses is correct.
Yes.
Matthew and Cole. Good job, guys. Good work. Yeah, that was a good Red Sea. Nicely done.
Thank you. Thank you. That was what I was shooting for. Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah.
The 10 Commandments.
Yes. That was great. Well, are they all making sense as they're being guessed? Do you see what we're going for?
Yep. Will, are you following any of these so far?
Sort of.
Sort of. Okay, cool. Good enough. That's good enough.
people are guessing them. That's what matters.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I do see you in Facebook. It's Tarot Floor, but I'm sure that's
Maya.
yeah, Amaya in the chat there. She's guessed all of yours so far, correct?
Oh, nice.
On Facebook, it's just a little bit more delayed on there. So
Okay.
yep, but she's there. She's watching. I see you.
We see
Good job.
you. Shout out.
Yep.
That's awesome. Okay.
All right, are you ready?
All ready for the next one.
All right, excellent. Let's do this.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yep, go.
There's a song that goes with this one.
Hey, you can't speak. I know you want to. I want to talk so bad. Abraham, yep. Let's see. I think Alexis got that one.
Good job, Alexis.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
I thought I was gonna have to keep going, and I was gonna like get a whole workout in there. Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say David dancing in the street. Like
That would have been a good guess if we hadn't already done David.
Yes, true.
Yep.
Father Abraham.
Yep.
Sons.
I figured that out right away, although I knew who it was. So that's
Yeah.
not fair.
Hopefully we have the answers. We know what we're going for.
Yep. Ooh, okay.
Are you ready for the next one?
Yeah, you guys are about to probably see my pajama pants here. This is going to be great.
You're in pajama pants? I'm
Absolutely. All day. It's Sunday. Come on now.
That's how we do church.
All right. Yep. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay. You ready?
Yep. Go ahead and go.
Okay. Going around the chair, just so you guys can't see.
Yeah, your lighting kind of does go out there. Hokey pokey, Father Abraham. Go kneel with the PJ pants. These are great guesses, guys. Your illustration is beautiful, Neil.
Thank you. I feel like that's going to get it. If they don't get that one.
Will, do you have any
Will,
guesses?
do you have a guess? Come on, Will.
Jericho something. Joshua?
Yes.
Yes. Good job, Will. Brad also said Jericho. Good job, guys.
I definitely got the Jericho part across. Oh, shoot.
Nicely
Nice.
done. That was good.
Thanks.
That was a good way to illustrate Joshua. Yeah.
Yep. I wish my lighting was better because you would have seen me running around my chair, and that was that was my other Jericho illustration. That was awesome.
That was good. You definitely we would see you when you came back.
Yeah.
You know,
It was close again.
which is probably what like the people in Jericho witnessed. You know, they would only see like when they came
Yeah,
back.
right?
So
Right.
that was
Yeah.
a good way to do it. Good job.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. I'm trying to think of how. Okay, we're good. I got
This
this.
one. You got this one.
Okay. I know when you're ready.
All right, go for it.
Oh, come on. That's too easy.
Yeah, you can't guess, Will. Remember, this is for the girls here. I'm sure they'll get this. I'm still waiting. I'm looking at the streams. And it's not up yet. So
Or if we need like, previously before that.
yeah, there we go. We got Michaela, Sadie, Heather, Kayla. Yeah, they all said Jesus. You're good to go. Well done.
Yes. Good work, ladies. Way to guess Jesus. Our homeboy. He's the best.
Yeah,
This is good.
definitely the best. Hashtag Easter.
Hashtag post Easter week 1.
That's right. That's right.
I think that's how we should address every week until Christmas.
Yeah.
Post Easter.
Yeah. Post Easter week X. Yep. Yep.
Support it. Nice. Good work. Good work, ladies. Good work. Diane in the Facebook page as well. Good work, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Neil, you ready for the next one?
I don't know. It's gonna be tough.
I believe in you.
Yeah.
If you need any ideas, I can help you out.
No, I've got plenty of ideas, just no good props. So. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do this. Let's go.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Go.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay.
That was good, Neil. That was really good.
I have limited resources here. Let's
Solid.
see. I'm gonna cheat, so this will be awesome though. You're gonna like this.
Okay. Neil is attempting to act out this character, and he has about 10 seconds technically, with the delay about 20.
Mm-hmm. I gotta find it. Okay.
This one's hard. I think your time's up, but we're gonna let you go ahead and keep going.
Anybody see that name there? I pointed to the name.
Will, can you guess?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, he wasn't at his screen. Darn it. All right. I would take that as a fail, I think.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's all right. I needed to prepare more for that one, and I was not prepared.
Sorry, team guys.
Yep.
Whew.
We're down one there. That's my fault, guys.
You want to tell him who it was?
It was Judas. So,
Go ahead and show him what you're doing with the bear.
This was Jesus. I was kissing him when they betrayed him. So, yeah.
You hung on the cross for a minute. That was good.
And then they hung him on the cross.
I saw that. That was good. That was clever.
Yes, but you knew who it was. So
That's true. Okay.
Yep.
Good try, guys. That was a hard one. That's hard to act out.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready for the next one?
Ready. You got this.
Yep.
So lucky.
You told me to go first.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's see how long it takes them to guess it.
Sadie got it already.
Yeah, good job, Sadie.
Well done.
Kayla. Yes, Kayla. Good job, guys.
Yep.
What was it?
What?
No, what was the person?
It was Mary.
Mary.
I thought it was Bible characters.
Mary.
Oh my God.
You guys,
No wonder they're losing. Holy cow.
Oh man.
Oh.
The girls are on the same mindset as me. We're all tracking well tonight. Guys, pick up your game here.
Yeah, guys, we're struggling.
Together. Okay, are you ready for the next one? Do you need a second to go find a prop?
No, I think we'll make this work.
Okay.
It's gonna be kind of obscure, but I think we can do it.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
Go.
Okay.
Okay, I see you. You're doing a great job, Neil. Keep going.
Let's see.
Paul, Matthew Albrecht, nicely done.
Yes, Matt.
Yes.
Way to go, dude.
Good work.
Woo.
That was really good. You'd acted out his whole story.
I tried. That's what I was going for.
He's
got Matt.
a lot of good story.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, good work, Matt. That was good. Whew. Okay.
Paul was the answer there. If you don't see Matt's chat, Paul. That was Paul.
Sorry, I always forget to say the answer. Yeah.
That's okay. Oh, you got a tough one here. This will be good.
I think I got this one. Okay. Are you
Yeah.
ready?
Yep. Go ahead. Whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Doubting. Whoa, hold on. That was not a girl.
Oh, did they get it though?
One person did, but I can't give it to you yet.
Ladies, listen to that.
All right, Alexis got it. You're good. You made it.
Good job, team.
Nice.
You know, the doubting Thomas wanted proof that it was Jesus, and so he's like, show me the holes in your hands.
Yep, that was good. You made that look a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
Thanks.
There
Skill.
we go.
Pure skill. All those acting classes are paying off.
Yeah. Yep. That's right. All of those acting classes.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Ooh.
Good luck with this one.
All right. Let me think here. Okay. All right. I think I'm ready.
Okay. Go.
Okay.
Will, you might have to guess on this one to help him out.
Oh my.
It's not Noah. Noah is a good guess. Cecilia did look like Will was frozen. I understand. This one is super tough.
Zacchaeus.
No. Think here.
You've got about 10 more seconds. Oh, you're doing such a great job. It's a really tough one. Old Testament. Not Philip and the Ethiopian eunuch. What a great guess, though, Brad.
That was a good guess.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know. I can't think of anything else to do.
Yeah, you're good. Time is up. Oh, that was so good. That was a really tough one.
Ooh, Nick.
Not Moses on the.
Elisha was close. Somebody said Elisha. That's not quite right. It's Elijah with a J.
So close, guys. So close.
Yep.
Super tough, though.
Yeah. I tried to get like the no rain.
Yeah.
And the burning on the altar, that one was hard. But
that was so good.
The raven feeding him. Oh well.
That was
Sorry, guys.
You did a great job.
Thanks.
Okay. Should we? I think we've got like 3 more, right?
Yep, 3 more.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay. Yes, whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Nice. Oh man.
I'll do it again.
I think they're gonna get this one pretty quick.
I hope so.
Yep. Sadie got it. Lazarus. Nicely done. Yeah.
Our team.
Yep.
Woo, woo.
Good
Nice.
job. Good job, everybody. Okay.
Good old Lazarus coming up from the dead.
Okay. I'm ready for this one.
Okay. I was going to make them spell this right, but I won't make them spell this right. It's a hard name to spell. Hint, wink, wink, nudge,
Yeah.
nudge. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
You're ready.
Ready?
Yep.
Will, you can guess, man. If you want to guess this one, go for it.
Zacchaeus.
Yes.
Good job, Will.
We.
Ant-Man from Brad.
Little man.
Good person. Good
Brad.
job.
You should have just like went and brought a Wii, like a Wii remote, and just Wii. Wii little.
Yeah, that would have been more creative. Thanks, Will.
If you have a Wii.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Yeah.
Great job, guys. Great job guessing.
Yes.
We technically have one more. Should we make Will do it?
Yes. I'm going to type it in the chat, Will.
Yeah, if we send you a chat on Zoom, can you see it really fast?
Okay, yeah. Okay. Oh my. What did I? Oh, why'd you give me this one?
You got this, Will. You got this.
Keep going. Okay, yeah, that's good. Keep going.
Oh, just.
Maybe include the other participants.
Wait, no sound. Wait. Oh yeah.
That was a snake hissing. Snake hissing.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yep, we got it. Sadie and Matt both said Noah. Good job.
Guys. Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
Good
Alexis,
work.
good job. Alexis, Fishers of Men. That was a good guess. I love it.
So good.
Well done.
Shout out to you guys on Facebook also guessing. Good work. I see you guys. Keep it up. Thanks for participating via Facebook as well.
Yep. Yep.
Good work. Well, thank you for participating in that last one, helping us out.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So good. I think it's safe to say though that the girls won.
The girls did win. Yeah, I think the guys, I think we missed two due to my lack of props or creativity. So that's on me, guys.
You're good.
I'll take the blame for that one. But yeah, girls, well done.
Yeah, nicely done. We'll have to do some acting classes. I can teach you what I know.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll have to talk more about that later.
Great job, guys, though. Thank you so much, both of you, for participating. Will, do you want to go ahead and grab your guitar?
Yes.
You can go ahead and do that. If you guys want to look up the lyrics for tonight's song, Will be playing. Sorry. Will be playing. How many times can you say that? It'll be the song From the Inside Out by Hillsong. You guys can type that into Google, or maybe you can just sing along or let it just kind of wash over you. That's okay too. But if you'd like to sing along, Neil and I will mute ourselves so that way you don't hear us.
You're welcome.
But yeah, so it's From the Inside Out by Hillsong. All you, Will.
All right, let's worship. Thousand times I failed, still your mercy remains. Should I stumble again, still I'm caught in your grace. Everlasting, your light will shine when all else fades. Never ending, your glory goes beyond all fame. My heart and my soul, I give you control. Consume me from the inside out, Lord. Let justice and praise become my embrace, to love you from the inside out. Thousand times I failed, still your mercy remains. Should I stumble again, I'm calling your grace everlasting. Your light will shine when all else fades, never ending. Your glory goes beyond all fate. Yeah, my heart and my soul, I give you control. Consume me from the inside out, Lord. Let justice and praise become my embrace. Consume me from the inside out. Everlasting, your light will shine when all else fades. Never ending, your glory goes beyond all fame. And the cry of my heart is to bring you praise from the inside out, Lord, my soul cries out, Lord, my soul cries out, Lord, my soul cries out. Still above all else, my purpose remains. The art of loving myself in bringing you praise everlasting. Your light will shine when all else fades, never ending. Your glory goes beyond all fate. Heart in my soul, I give you control. Consume me from the inside out, Lord. Let justice and praise become my embrace. To love you from the inside out. Everlasting, your light will shine when all else fades. Never ending, your glory goes beyond all things. And the cry of my heart is to bring you praise from the inside out, Lord, my soul. Everlasting, your light will shine when all else fades. Never ending, your glory goes beyond all things. And the cry of my heart is to bring you praise from the inside out, Lord, my soul cries out, Lord, my soul cries out, Lord, my soul cries out. My heart and my soul, I give you control. Consume me from the inside out, Lord. Let justice and praise become my embrace. Consume me from the inside out, Lord. My heart and my soul, I give you control. Consume me from the inside out, Lord. Let justice and praise become my embrace. To love you from the inside out, Lord.
was awesome. Thank you so much, Will.
Of course.
Yeah, we appreciate you. So thankful for the gift that God has given you. So thank you for joining us. Awesome. I'm gonna let you can turn off your screen if you want, or you can keep it on, or at least mute yourself. And we're going to go ahead and pray and jump into the Word of God tonight. Awesome. Well, Father, we're so thankful just for who you are. God, we want to love you from the inside out. And our souls do cry out, God. Our souls cry out different things. And Lord, you know the cries of our heart. You know the desires of our heart. You know exactly where we are. Lord, you know if we're finding rest in this time. You know if we're overwhelmed. You know if we're fearful. You know exactly where we stand. But Lord, we want to surrender that and give that to you today. So thank you for what you did for us on the cross. Thank you for your love. And I just pray that as tonight we speak, Lord, and we just talk about your love, that you would just be the one speaking to us, that it wouldn't be my words, but it would be yours. In your name, amen. Awesome. Well, guys, I love that song says, my soul cries out, right? Because I think that's kind of where a lot of us are right now. We're crying out for different reasons. We've got a lot going on. And we've been in the Bless Initiative series. We've been talking about B, which is begin with prayer, and then L, listen with care, then E, eat like Jesus. And then 2 weeks ago, we took communion together. And then last week was Easter. And so we got to celebrate just the goodness of God and how he died for us, but then he rose again. And that's where the true joy is. So that was awesome to celebrate that last week. It was a very unique way, a very different Easter than anything I've ever experienced. And I'm sure it's different than anything you guys have ever experienced. But we're back this week, and we're going to continue on with the 2 S's in bless. But the Lord just kept laying on my heart anxiety. And he just kept saying, like, anxiety is what we need to talk about. And so tonight we're going to talk about anxiety. And maybe not all of you have experienced anxiety before, or maybe you are anxious right now. That's okay. That's actually awesome if you're not experiencing anxiety. I'm really happy for you. But I think it's important that we discuss it just with the Lord laying it on my heart. So I'm just curious, how many of you have experienced anxiety in the last month or two? I know that when I heard that they were going to like shut everything down, I was at work that day, like in the building, and I like got really panicky because I was like, oh no, like I don't have food in my house. Like, do we have toilet paper? Like that's when all the toilet paper was gone. And like I started to like worry because I hadn't been preparing well. And so I like got like really anxious, and I was like, I'm going to starve to death. Like if everything gets shut down. Obviously I didn't, and I'm fine. But that's where my mind went, was this very panicked, very scared. And so I'm curious if you guys have been experiencing any sort of anxiety. Remedy Live did some research, and you guys know that I'm a big nerd and I love researching and I love the brain and statistics and all those fun things. And so Remedy Live did some research, and they discovered that 93% of teenagers have experienced anxiety in the past month alone. 93%. So if you are someone who has not experienced anxiety in the last month, that is awesome, but you are in the minority right now. And I'm sure you have friends that are experiencing it if you're not. And that's just, it's super tough. And I was thinking about anxiety and how we use that word a lot. I think we use anxiety and stress, and sometimes we use them interchangeably. And so my nerdy brain went to the definition of stress versus anxiety. So we're going to break that down a little bit today. So the definition of stress, not the dictionary definition, but the way that I kind of defined it to kind of differentiate them. Stress is when you feel stress and it's because of a known source. And so the stress might manifest in feelings of anger, sadness, or irritability. And so stress can come, like I'm stressed about a test I have. We were just talking with the leaders before we jumped on the live stream, and Alexis has a bunch of classes and finals she's finishing right now, one of our leaders. And so she has the stress because there's a known source, and it's school. Like school's a lot. I'm sure some of you guys are experiencing that. I know you're learning online now, and that's way harder. That would be so hard to learn without a teacher. I know some of you guys are learning through Zoom. It's definitely changing. And so school can definitely be a source of stress. Or maybe it's something else that's known. But stress is when it's from a known source. Anxiety, on the other hand, is a specific feeling of fear and or dread, and it may not have a known, it comes from like the unknown. And so an experience of anxiety that I had was like with this situation was I didn't know if there was going to be food. I didn't know if there was going to be toilet paper. And so that was the stress element, but I didn't know what was going to happen. I'm like, well, what does this look like? Like, how long are we going to be in here? Is there going to be, like all these questions of unknown popped up. And that's where the anxiety came in, because I didn't know how to prepare. I didn't know what to prepare. And I didn't really know like why I should prepare, except for there was this thing coming, right? Like, I don't think I truly understood COVID-19 or Corona or all those things. I was attentive to the news a little bit, but I wasn't fully educated on it. And so it was really unknown and really scary and big. And so I wonder if you guys have been experiencing any of this like unknown, like there's this fear or this panicking, this dread, because there's a lot of unknown. And so my brain continued to do research because, again, I love it. And so I decided that I should check into what actually happens in our brains when we experience anxiety. So when we experience stress, there's a hormone in our brain called cortisol, and it heightens our senses, right? It makes our heart beat faster. It makes our blood pressure rise. It gets us ready to go. Because if you think about it, like it's the fight or flight thing. And so when something dangerous comes by, our body starts to pump up so that way we can escape quickly, right? Because you don't want to be caught off guard and standing flat-footed. That's what I used to always tell my soccer team, you don't be flat-footed, you want to be on your toes, ready to go, right? So that's what your body's doing. It's getting you up on your toes, ready to take off sprinting in case that danger comes. And so that's what happens with this cortisol, right? Like it raises. And so that's what's happening with stress. And with anxiety, it kind of like puts the icing on the cake with that. It adds to it. And so I researched the parts of the brain. And so we're going to talk about the amygdala and the hippocampus. We're getting real nerdy tonight, guys. So the amygdala is an almond-shaped structure deep in the brain that is believed to be a communication hub between the parts of the brain that process incoming sensory signals and the part that interprets these signals. So it's like the processor, right? It's like the telephone, what were they called? The operator. That's what it's called. The operator, right? So like someone calls the operator and they're like, operator, I need to talk to so-and-so. And then the operator gets them on the phone, right? And so it's like, this is what I'm seeing and this is what we need to do to react. That's kind of what the amygdala does. It talks between the two parts. It can alert the rest of the brain that a threat is present and trigger a fear or anxiety response. So it heightens us, right? It prepares us to do whatever we need to respond, fight or flight. The emotional memory stored in the central part of the amygdala may play a role in anxiety, especially with fears of like spiders and like frogs or dogs, or because there's like a memory to that of like one time this dog bit me and so I'm afraid of dogs. So the amygdala connects it to the memory aspect, which is the hippocampus. The hippocampus is the memory part of our brain, and I remember that because if there was a hippo on campus, you would remember that. Fun fact to remember that. And so this is how our brain, like these two parts of our brain, right? Like they're heightened. We've got our amygdala telling us that like it's like communicating that like there's something dangerous coming and we need to do something about it. And the hippocampus is like, I remember that. That was really scary when it happened last time. So we're going to prepare again. And so all this is happening, right? And so these chemicals that are released, it releases a surge of chemicals like cortisol, right? That heightened thing. And then also, I always forget how to say this word, guys, norepinephrine. And these chemicals give us a natural boost in reflex time, perception, and speed. And this is what causes that heart to pump and everything, right? Gets it going. And so we go into survival mode. And so when our bodies are into this heightened sense, it's really stressful, right? And it's like your body's really tense. And like if your body's really tense and like tight the whole time, then it's kind of exhausting. It's really tiring. And it's not a fun place to stay in forever. And especially if it like happens for long periods of time and continues, it's a really hard place to be. And a lot of people who experience anxiety, they say like it's kind of like this crushing this crushingness, right? Maybe it's like this panic, but then it can also feel like this heavy weight on your chest. It's like makes it difficult to breathe. It just makes you feel like you can't escape, right? You're kind of trapped. And so this is what happens when we have anxiety and stress, and it's terrible. It's awful if you guys have experienced it. And I'm so sorry. But the beauty is there's good, there's hope in this, I promise. We're not just going to talk about how terrible it is. The beauty is that our bodies were made in the image of God, right? And so God created these parts of our brain to help us and to keep us safe, because when there is something dangerous, we do want to escape it, right? Like if there's a house fire, you need to get out of the house. You need to know how to react to that. If there is a rabid dog on the loose that's scary and going to come bite you, you need to, get away from that. Or like the goose I walked by tonight, it was hissing at me, right? And like I know like that sound from an animal to be scary, because I've been bitten by an animal before making that sound. And so I know to like come away from it so I don't get hurt. And so it's good. Like God created this to protect us, right? So there is a good purpose for it. And he created our minds just like this. And we learn that from Genesis 1:27, where it says, so God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. God designed us this way, right? And so it's a good thing. But it can feel hard when it's anxiety and it's pressure crushing, right? But the thing is, anxiety doesn't last forever. It might feel like it does, especially when we're in that moment and it's overtaking us, but it doesn't last forever. And I actually put together some super practical steps to kind of help us when we are feeling those things. Even if you're just feeling stress, they help as well. But for anxiety specifically, which we're going to talk about in a minute, because most likely you guys are experiencing anxiety or some of your friends are. So these are helpful tips. And we're going to go over those. But before we do that, you're not alone in experiencing anxiety, and it's all over scripture. That's what I've been learning, is that so many individuals in the Bible, specifically ones that we acted out tonight, actually, they experienced anxiety in different ways. And so a couple of them just to name, you've got Daniel, right? Surprisingly, the lion's den isn't mentioned within his anxiety. I'm sure it was heightened there when God closed those mouths of the lions. But Daniel actually had visions of what was to come in the future, and it was terrifying what he saw. He saw these kings and rulers coming in, taking over, and just all the terrible things they were going to do. And in Daniel 7 and 8, it talks about how it disturbed him, so he was unable to do anything for several days. Have you guys ever like had debilitating anxiety where like you can't get off the couch? You can't get out of bed. Like you just feel like your arms are so heavy and your knees are weak, and like you can't move, right? It's so overwhelming. Or Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago about how he was in such distress that he literally sweat blood. Like blood vessels in his forehead were bursting. And so it caused blood to be sweat out. And this is a medical condition called hematodrosis. And you can find that in Luke 22, verse 44. But he was he had so much fear and anxiety and distress because he knew that he was going to have to die on the cross, and he knew how it was going to happen. He knew one of his closest friends was going to betray him, and like all these terrible things that were going to happen. And that had to be so overwhelming and scary. And oh my gosh, I can't even imagine like what was going on in his mind, let alone what he experienced physically. And then the one that I want to focus on today, and we're actually going to look into a little bit more, is David. When David, right, we talked about David and Goliath earlier, where he was fearless. But later on, after David has defeated Goliath, he's become good friends with Jonathan. He's the harp player for Saul for a while. And then Saul gets really jealous, and David has to flee for his life. And David is hiding out in caves in the mountains, legit like terrified for his life. And not only is Saul and Saul's entire army looking for him, along the way other enemies have been made and risen up, and so all these different people are coming to find David to kill him, to destroy him, because they don't want him to succeed or to survive. They want him gone. And so he's hiding out, and he writes this Psalm 69. So if you guys want to go and open your Bibles to Psalm 69, we're going to read a couple of verses from that. his anxiety, I can't imagine not hiding for my life. I've never been in that situation. I know we kind of are doing that right now with COVID-19. We're kind of hiding to protect, quarantining to protect. But I've never had people like actively searching to find me. That would be awful. So Psalm 69, we're going to read the first 5 verses, and then I want to throw something else in. So Psalm 69, verse 1. Save me, O God, for the waters have come up to my neck. I sink in the miry depths where there is no foothold. I have come into the deep waters, the floods engulf me. I'm worn out, calling for help. My throat is parched, my eyes fail looking for my God. Those who hate me without reason outnumber the hairs of my head. Many are my enemies without cause. Those who seek to destroy me, I am forced to restore what I did not steal. You, God, know my folly. My guilt is not hidden from you. He's describing like the sense of drowning, right? Like, save me, oh God, for the waters have come up to my neck. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever been in water where like you can't touch the bottom, maybe like before you learned how to swim. And you were just like you're just trying to stay above flow, right? It's this scary, scary feeling. Or I sink in the miry depths where there's no foothold, right? Like you just keep slipping. You can't get any traction. You can't escape what's going on. I've come into the deep waters, the floods engulf me, like being overcome by that water, right? Like drowning into it. I'm worn out calling for help. I'm so exhausted. God, I've been calling out on your name and you haven't. Like, I just feel so exhausted. I can't do this anymore. My eyes fail. Like you're so exhausted or your eyes hurt so bad, maybe from migraine. Like that's that feeling, right? Like my eyes are failing because I'm looking for you and I'm not finding you. And like the throat is parched. Those who hate me without reason outnumber the hairs on my head. There's so many bad things going on right now. Like I can't even count them. Like it's way too overwhelming. And then verse 5, like, God, you know my folly, you know my guilt. I haven't hidden anything from you, right? Like he's saying like he's innocent. And so there's this overwhelmingness. Like we see his imagery, like he's just feeling so defeated, right? Nothing is going his way. And there's actually someone else very popular who I love. I love his music, who talks about something very similar in his song "Lose Yourself." So if you guys know the song by Eminem, "Lose Yourself," not promoting him because he uses curse words, but love him. He sings. This is what he says, right in the first verse of "Lose Yourself." His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti. He's nervous, but on the surface, he looks calm and ready to drop bombs, but he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud. He opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking now. Everybody's joking now. The clock's run out. Time's over. Blow. So that's Eminem talking about his experience coming out on stage and like trying to provide and just feeling this essence of failure, right? I love his imagery of his palms are sweaty, right? Like he's so nervous and like there's so much going on that like he can't help it. That's where it's releasing, right? His knees are weak. Like he doesn't feel very strong in his legs. Like he's not sure if he's going to be able to make it. Arms are heavy. Have you guys ever done like a really hard workout and like your arms are just like exhausted, or maybe you've had the flu before and your body is just completely exhausted. You're so tired. And then there's vomit on his sweater already. His mom's spaghetti, right? Like I know I've definitely vomited before because I was nervous or like had to go on stage or something like that. Like definitely like all these anxieties. And then the next part says he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready. I think that's the part where we try to be that, right? Like we try to be calm because when we're with other people, or maybe when we're in front of our parents or in front of our siblings or whoever it is that we're around right now, we want to look calm. We don't want to show anyone what's really going on in the inside, even though like all these physical things are happening, no one knows but us, right? And so we're trying to keep it contained, even though there's these nerves, we're not going to do it. And then I love that he continues to talk about it of like, he goes out there, but like, it's just so overwhelming, right? He opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. Have you guys ever tried to tell someone something really important, but you just couldn't bring yourself to do it? Or how about the next line where he's choking, how everybody's joking now, right? Like I feel like I'm choking and I'm drowning, like right back to the Psalm, like David's drowning. There's this overwhelming pressure, but like other people don't know what's going on. You think they don't understand, right? Like they're not going to understand. They're not going to know what I'm going through. And like, I just see so many parallels from Eminem to David. I wonder if Eminem actually read Psalm 69 and like got his inspiration. I'll call him and ask him later. Don't worry. But yeah, like there's just this overwhelmingness, right? And even if you look down in verse 21, this is where the mom spaghetti comes in the Psalm. Little humor, in our Psalm. Verse 21 in Psalm 69 says, they put gall in my food and gave me vinegar for my thirst. That would definitely make me vomit. So, a little bit of spaghetti on his sweater there. But in all seriousness, like David went through this, he walked in this. Eminem like has anxiety and stress, and that's evident with this song, right? Like there are so many people that talk about this and go through this every day. And so you're not alone, right? And it's okay. It's okay to have these feelings. It's okay to be stressed. It's okay to have anxiety. But what we don't want is we don't want you guys to go through it alone. And we don't want you guys to be overwhelmed where and like become overtaken and where it becomes too much, right? And it leads us other places. And so I wrote down a couple of practical steps, how we can kind of overcome this feeling of drowning, this feeling of like, I'm so weak, or like, I can't do anything. I'm stuck here. Right. And so a couple of practical steps. And if you guys want to write these down, take notes, feel free to. And so maybe this is for you, or maybe this is for a friend. But I think it's great for all of us to know this. So step one is to take a deep breath. And so one way to do that is you can kind of like count to 4 in your head, maybe like, so I counted to 4 while I was breathing in, and then I counted to 4 while I was exhaling. And so you can focus on the counting and then the breathing as well to kind of help you take a deep breath. And this actually gets oxygen to our brain, and it helps lower that cortisol level because remember that cortisol level is really high. And so it's got our heart beating really fast. Our whole body's like amped, right? And so usually it brings us into this short breath of like maybe we feel like we can't just catch our breath, or maybe we don't feel like we can exhale. We can only like inhale, or maybe you can't inhale. So try to take a deep breath, and maybe go ahead and practice right now. Number 2 is take a sip of water. I think I've got some water still left from my, Peter walking on water. It's good. Take a sip of water. This also lowers the stress hormone in your brain. It helps you kind of ground and like connects you to something else, takes the focus off of the panic, right? The next thing is what I'm going to call finding your ground, or finding the ground under your feet. And so anxiety makes us feel out of control, and like we can't function, or maybe like we can't even move sometimes. And so this is a really great one if you're feeling that way. And so maybe you're feeling that drowning aspect, or like it's just consuming. And so this is where we just focus on what's in front of us. And so to find our grounding, maybe I look around the room and I name what I see, right? And so in front of me, I see the little shopping cart that was over there when I was acting out. There was the little chair that I sat on when I was doing the Jesus and Doubting Thomas. There's a wood floor below me. I'm sitting on a couch. And then also like wiggling your toes in your shoes and wiggling your fingers. And sometimes this helps, especially if you're with another person. And then they can kind of ask you like, hey, where are you right now? And you can say, I'm in the living room with you, or I'm in my bedroom talking to you, and I'm safe. Like I'm okay. Just verbalizing that kind of helps our brain process. The next tip is reassure them that it's okay to be scared, but that this will pass. Maybe you have to say that to yourself. Maybe you need this said to you. Or maybe you need to tell it to a friend. But just saying like, this won't last forever. This feeling, this panic attack right now, it's not going to last forever. If any of you guys have experienced anxiety, or if you have experienced a panic attack, hopefully you're still not in it today, right? Like hopefully it is past. And so all of them in the past have passed, right? They've all ended. And so this one will pass too. And so sometimes just saying like, there is hope in the future, right? Like looking that it will be okay. It just might not be okay now. But also just letting them know that it is okay to be afraid. Like it's okay to be where they are, but we can get out of it. And then the last step I'm going to give you guys is the most important one, I think, because this is where we get to invite God into it. And so this is where we think of examples when things felt impossible in the past, but God stepped in for us, right? And so I think of lots of scriptural truth that shares like so many examples of when God changed the situation. I think of Noah in the flood. Will was acting that out as a great job. But like they were stuck on this boat with no land, like they were quarantined in a boat. They couldn't get out. Like it was literally impossible because there was just water everywhere and they had no idea when it was going to end, but it did end. God brought the land and he let them out safely and it was okay, right? And they started life again. It probably wasn't the same as what it was before, but they started life again and it was safe. It was better. I think of Moses and the Israelites with the Red Sea. Neil orchestrated this one greatly with the staff and the water splashing up. But the Israelites were escaping Egypt from Pharaoh and the Egyptians, and they were coming out, and they came up to this Red Sea, and they couldn't cross it because it was too powerful, right? Like you can't really cross a sea when it's strong, and especially with all your belongings, like you're moving out with what you got in your arms. But God stopped the army behind them, right, with the fire pillar. And then he protected the Israelites until it was time. And then Moses parted the Red Sea. Well, God parted the Red Sea through Moses, right, through that staff. And so that Red Sea parts, and then they cross on dry land where this was impossible because, like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen like mud or like dirt right after the rain has happened, but it's not dry. Like, one, like parting a sea is impossible. Two, like dry land is also impossible. And then the fact that they all get through safely. And then as soon as the last Israelite is out, that's when the mud gets sticky, right? The dry land is no longer dry. And so Pharaoh's army gets stuck in there and then they get taken out by the water. That was all impossible. And it probably felt impossible too. But yet God provided a way, right? He provided when it was impossible. I think of David and Goliath, right? Again, another situation. David should not have been able to physically kill Goliath with one little stone to the forehead. Like that was God's power behind him. I think of Saul becoming Paul, right? Another one that Neil acted out. He was so gung-ho fighting the Christians, but then God completely changed his life around. He turned him around, even changed his name. And things might have felt impossible. He was blind and it didn't feel like he would ever see again, but God brought him sight again, right? He brought him sight and he brought him more purpose. And so then Paul has more experiences where it felt impossible. Paul got shipwrecked, but not a single person on the boat was harmed. Not a single hair on their head was harmed, right? Not a single cut. And guys, shipwrecks are pretty violent. I've never been in one personally, but like, to have like a boat massively taken over by water and destroyed and thrown out, like that would be terrible. It should have killed them all, but yet they were all perfectly fine. Impossible without God, right? Or Paul getting put in prison and, he's in prison singing praises to the Lord, his heart posture, right? Just like that song we sing, his heart was praising him from the inside out, right? His heart posture was toward the Lord. He was singing praises and the chains just fall off. And he could have gotten up and walked out of the prison cell, but yet he remained. And God then let him lead the entire jailer and his family to Christ, right? Like they became Christians because of Paul's willingness to stay, but also his willingness to trust God in the impossible. And then I think of Elisha searching for God in the fire, right? Like we know that God can do crazy, big, amazing things, right? Like we know that God can drop the chains off of Paul. We know that God can open the Red Seas. He can create a flood. He can stop the flood. He can do all these massive things. But I think of Elisha because he was searching for God in the fire, right? So he was asking God, where are you? And God sent this massive fire. And then God sends a great wind. He sends a huge storm. But God wasn't in any of those. He was in the quiet whisper. And that's where he is during this time for us, especially during anxiety. We might not see like massive miracles happening. COVID-19 hasn't stopped spreading, right? Corona hasn't ended. The quarantine hasn't ended, and we're not done with this yet. We're losing loved ones, and our friends are losing loved ones, and I know that's really tough. But God is in the quiet whisper. I think he can be, like, he is a God of big miracles, and he can do that if he wants. But it feels like he's in the quiet whisper, especially when we're in times of high stress, right? But that's where God gets to do the coolest stuff, is when we're in these high stress moments. But yeah, so those are your 5 things that you can kind of help people walk through what to do when they're having an anxiety attack and kind of experiencing it. And so the first one was take a deep breath, right? Take a sip of water, find your grounding, reassure them that it's okay to be scared, but it will pass. And then 5, think of examples where God has overcome the impossible. Those are your 5 kind of helpful steps to kind of get through if you're panicking or overwhelmed or feeling anxious. And so I want to kind of end this lesson time with sharing something that, or a time in my life where God took a situation where I was completely out of control and I was just so done, and I had worked my butt off for my plans, but God had something completely else in mind. And that's where he did the coolest stuff, was when I had nothing left, when I had no control left. And so I'm just going to share that story with you guys really quick, because I think God wants to use it tonight for some of you. So I was a sophomore of college, and I had an internship lined up in Cincinnati, Ohio. It was a church that one of my bosses at Huntington University, she went there as a kid, knew the youth pastor, knew the head pastor. She'd given them a reference for me, like called them, was reassuring me, like, you totally got this. It's going to be great. I had an interview with the youth pastor. It went awesome. I loved it. He was so gung-ho, and he was like, I want you to come this summer. Like, you're the perfect fit. I'm so pumped to have you. So I felt really good about that. And so I had one final interview, and it was with the youth pastor who I already met with via Skype or video chat, the head pastor, and then the elder board. And so I had this meeting with them. I was killing it, answering all the questions. I knew the right biblical answer. Like, I knew how to present myself. I did such a great job. I was so proud of myself. I thought for sure that I had this internship. It was totally in the bag. I even like had a place lined up to live in Cincinnati. Like, that's how in the bag I had this. So we finished the interview, and the youth pastor calls me on the phone after the interview is over, because they took some time to kind of talk it through. And he let me know that I was one of the final candidates. So it was down to 2 people. And he told me that they weren't going to go with me, that instead they decided to go with the other person because my heart was more for the urban and they were more suburban. And so I was just like I'd be great with whoever. It just didn't click. It didn't make sense. And I felt so rejected. And so like let down and disappointed. But not only that, then this like overwhelming feeling of like, well, now what are you going to do with your life? Like, what are you going to do? You have no plans for this summer, and like, you have no way of making money. You have no way of like surviving the summer. And like going home wasn't really my best option at the moment. I didn't have anything lined up, and I was just like, what am I going to do? Like, I've got nothing. And I just felt so like worthless in that too, because I'd been told no of what I thought I had for sure. And so I walked out of like away from that phone call, and I came onto the floor that I was living on back into the dormitory, and I sat down just so defeated and overwhelmed and just like done. I'm sure you guys have all been there, where you're just like it didn't go the way that you needed it to, or the way that you wanted it to, and you were just so overwhelmed. And so like it's that you sit down and you're just exhausted and you just can't believe what's going on. And that's exactly where I was. And I was just like, what the heck, God? Like, this is what you wanted for me. Like I was following what you asked me to do. Just so done. And so I took a couple minutes just being in that. And then I said out loud, I was like, anyone have any jobs available for the summer? Because I've got nothing. I don't know what to do. And a girl that normally wasn't present on the floor, she lived on the floor, but she normally wasn't there. She came over and was like, hey, actually, my dad is looking for an intern. He's a youth pastor in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and he's looking for someone to come work alongside him for the summer. And I was like, whatever, I'll take anything. Like I would literally go scrub toilets at this point in time. I was just looking for any job. And so she lines it up for me to meet with him. And so I meet with him and, interview and all that stuff. And I'm like, well, whatever, like, I'm sure I'm not going to get this one either. Just super, super downed by everything. And I ended up getting it. And that summer I actually moved into the house that I live in now. I started being the intern at Harvester Missionary Church, where I eventually became the youth pastor at Harvester Missionary Church, where I then partnered with Fellowship Missionary Church, with Mark and Izzy back when they ran 5 hours in immersion. Our churches partnered together. And then from there, I created a beautiful friendship. And then, so that was 7 years ago. That I first came to Fort Wayne. And now I'm the youth pastor of like the coolest church ever, doing the coolest job ever. And like God has just given me so much more than I ever imagined, right? Sophomore Mary in that chair, defeated, had no idea that God wanted to do something so much better than what she imagined, right? He wanted to bless me with a beautiful place where I could come and heal and learn about family and just the beauty of what God can do. He wanted me to learn what it looks like to take care of myself, self-care, like that's so important. He wanted me to come learn more about his love in a place where I feel comfortable. And he just provided so much, guys, like so much more than I can't even like describe how much God has provided for me. But it all started in that moment where I had zero control. I did my best in every aspect. I worked my butt off and it didn't pay off the way that I wanted. And I had nothing left. I couldn't do anything about it. But yet God wanted me there so he could flex on me, right? Like God just wants to flex on us. He's like, now that you've got nothing left and you realize that you have nothing, now I want to show you how awesome I am. And this song, like, our God is greater, our God is stronger, has just been playing over and over again in my head all day, because like that is our God. He is greater, he is stronger, he is mightier, right? He's awesome. And he just wants to show you that. He wants to flex on you. And so like those moments of anxiety, maybe it's even hours of anxiety, those times of high stress, like God is just waiting for us to surrender that and say, God, I have nothing left. I can't control this situation anymore. And I just need you to take over because you have something so much better. If I had not been stopped from going to Cincinnati my sophomore year of college, I would not be here today. Like hands down, I wouldn't be, because it'd be a different path completely. But God used that moment, a huge pivoting moment when I had nothing left, to change my life completely for the better. And I'm so thankful he did, guys. I'm just so thankful. But in the moment, it doesn't feel great. And I get that. And so it's okay to be in the moment and to not feel great. I've had so many of those moments, and I've shared a lot of them with you guys. So it's okay to be there, but know that there is hope. There is a blessing coming, right? Like God wants to flex on you. He wants to love you so well. And so tonight I want to leave us, before you guys head to your small groups via Zoom, I want to leave you with the lyrics from the song, The Blessing by Carrie Job. It goes like this. The Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. When anxiety comes, when that fear hits you, when that overwhelming, stuck, you feel like you're going to vomit your mom's spaghetti, when that all comes over, he wants to flex on you. He wants to bless you. He wants to let his face shine toward you, and he wants to give you peace. So guys, go in peace. We love you. Please let me know if there's anything I can do specifically. But I'm praying for you all, as I know that these are tough times. But we love you, and yeah, we're praying against the anxiety. Have a good night, guys.